So hi, my name's Holly. I'm 16. I've been going to Inside Out now for 3 years. I started going when I was 13 with my sister, and my very first memory of Inside Out is I was sitting on the floor and I felt really out of place because I was the youngest person there, and everybody else knew each other, everybody else was comfortable there, and I wasn't there yet. But there was this energy in the room that just made me feel like I belonged and like I had the potential to belong there. And that sounds really cheesy, but it's true. So yeah, that was my very first experience with Inside Out, and from then on, it was like I was hooked. I'm like, I need to go every week. I need to see these people. I need to talk to people because when you're 13 years old and you don't know who you like or what you like or who you are, it's one of those places. Inside Out comes to be one of those places where you come to depend on it because it's a safe space. That's something that we pride ourselves on, is that this is a safe space where anybody can come and express themselves and share their feelings and try to figure out exactly who they are, what they want, and anything that conflicts them or they're worried about. This is a place where you can come and figure out how to work it out. And that's been the main reason why I still come, is because life is really hectic. I have a job, I have school, and I have so many obligations, but then I can still come to Inside Out and I still have my roots here where I can say, this is where I figured out who I was. This is the place, these are the people who helped me determine the person that I am and the person that I want to be and the things that I want to do with my life because of that. When I was about 14, I was going through a really horrible phase where I felt really conflicted about my identity. I didn't know what my sexual orientation was. I didn't know what my gender identity was. And every time I was confronted with a situation where I felt like I had to have these answers, I panicked and I didn't know what to do, and it scared me, and I didn't know where to turn until I realized, that's why Inside Out is there. And it was because of Inside Out that I learned a lot of things about myself. A lot of things about myself, as far as, labels and identities. And yeah, I think the turning point for me is at one point I went to go see an independent film with Inside Out. It was called Play in the Grain. It was about drag kings. And that day, I realized that, I can't identify with labels. I can't. That's the kind of person that I am, is that I refuse to identify with labels. I find them to be pointless and I find them to be restricting, and that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned while I'm at Inside Out, is that, when you try to put a label on something, when you try to define something, you are just putting yourself in a box. You're putting that situation in a box where you can't really maneuver outside of it, and that's a philosophy that I still live by, that, you just gotta keep your mind open, and you gotta keep your options open, and you just gotta let things flow. Inside Out is a very go with the flow kind of place, and that's something that I have taken and applied to my own life vehemently, and the people here are just as important as the place. It's not just this building that people come in and they realize, oh my god, this is the answer to life, and then you leave and the world becomes a better place. It's a lot about the people here. There have been a lot of volunteers here, a lot of people who come here that have just done magic on my life because of what they've said to me or what they've done for me. The person that mostly comes to my mind is Tom. He's a volunteer. He's been here for forever and a half, and a couple years ago he started doing yoga at Inside Out, and everybody was really surprised by this, why a yoga class? And, I thought, why not? Let's go to the yoga class. Let's see what this is like. And for some reason that made a really big impact on me. I was one of only like 3 people that went to the yoga class, but being able to spend that time one-on-one with a volunteer, I got to be really comfortable around him. I don't have any worry about authority around him or if any topic is off limits with him. Tom has been one of those people that just I'm comfortable enough around to be able to just have a decent conversation with him, and whether it's very serious, this is something that's, if it's about something that really affects me, or something that's really important to me, or something that's really, conflicting in my life at that point, or if it's something as casual as, talking about yoga and doing yoga and trying to figure out how to do the dead bug pose in yoga, and, it's the little things that made everything just so significant for me. After yoga, every single day, he would say namaste, and then he'd say, "You guys rock." And ever since then, every time I see him, I'm like, "You rock." And that's just our thing, and it makes us closer, I think, and it makes us really well connected. I got to go camping with him once, and we did yoga in the morning, and there was one time where we could see the shadow of the moon on the mountain, and we got to walk up and see it, and it was beautiful, and it's those tiny moments that really connect you with a human being, and I'm really glad that Tom's been a person that I've been able to do that for and with, is just be connected to him. So, yeah, that's my experience for Inside Out. That's why it's special to me, is because, it's been a place where I've been able to come here and do anything, say anything that I need to feel myself. And they've always been there for me in times of hardship. I've had really difficult living situations where, I've been homeless, and I used to be able to get my food here. This was my main food source. This was a place where I could stay on Friday night so I didn't freeze in the cold before my mom was able to come and pick me up. And, it's just all the little memories that kind of build up, and it makes you realize how significant a place like Inside Out can be for a teenager. So, yeah, that's my experience with Inside Out.